Hello, welcome to Living and Learning. I'm Allison Kinnear, and Living and Learning is where I pop onto Facebook Live every Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time and talk about living and learning. Today we are talking about anxiety. We are all in a new world here with the coronavirus and the pandemic and how it's impacting us. And if you're feeling a little bit anxious, you are certainly not alone. This video, let me first talk about what this video will not be talking about. So we're going to be talking about anxiety, but we're not going to be talking about it in terms of like generalized anxiety disorder. I'm not a medical professional. I don't pretend to be one on TV. I'm not going to pretend to be one now. I'm also not talking about post-traumatic stress disorder and some of the anxieties affiliated with that. Or secondary, what did I just read about? Secondary experience of like stress response to things that are happening. So not talking about that, although these tools will likely be similar to the tools that you would use for trauma, for more generalized anxiety, stress disorder. But these are tools for the general angst, anxiety, and worry that may be permeating you, or at least is in the soup around you, is in our society around you. And to offer some tools to help you be able to navigate some of that anxiety. Hello, Deborah. Yay. So glad you're here. So let's talk about anxiety in this kind of context. So there's oftentimes two reasons why we go into anxiety. The first reason is that we are in the future. It's like our minds are already in the future, and that future is not like an optimistic future. It's like our mind is in worry, our mind is in fear, our mind is looking at the future and seeing, there's trouble up ahead, and then that kind of causes a domino effect of anxiety, worry, fear, sadness, all of this that can take place. Okay, so that's one thing. Our mind is in the future. Oh, hello, Megan. Hi, welcome. I love it. Please comment so I can greet you. Charles, yay! I love it. Allison, I love it. You don't need to remember my name, Charles. You're all good. I'm going to talk and then I'll acknowledge people a little bit later. So one is our minds are in the future, maybe too far ahead in the future. The second issue is that we can be maybe not in the future, but there can be some unexpressed, unfelt feelings that are kind of laying and lurking below the surface. So there may be feelings of sadness, of fear that we're trying to keep a lid on. It's almost like an Instant Pot pressure cooker. It's like just got the lid screwed on really tight and there's no pressure valve being released. So sometimes anxiety can come through because we're not feeling our feelings. And when that happens, then it might look like numbness. It might look like you're just you can't even deal. It might be exhaustion. It might be irritability. Might get really cranky and be easily upset. So these are some of the two common reasons why anxiety might be coming up. We're either too far ahead in the future, or we are feeling things or not allowing ourselves to feel things. So we might be feeling a little stuck. So let's talk about what's one thing. There's so many things that can be done for those two reasons, but I'm just going to share one tip on each. So if you are off into the future, if worrying about the future is where you are finding yourself often, then, and like I said, there's many tools that can be used, but one tool that can be used that is super helpful, that is super powerful, is to get back into the now. So that can be something really simple. It's like tuning into all of your five senses. It's like, what am I touching? My feet are on the floor. I am touching the floor. What does my body feel like? What am I hearing? Am I hearing anything? What am I seeing? What am I seeing? I'm seeing a window. I'm seeing a pen. I'm seeing, right? Like tuning into the senses. What am I smelling? Am I smelling anything? What's the temperature of the room? What is my breathing like? So if you find yourself getting down into worries about the future, then bringing yourself back to now, back to the present moment. And it can be, what can help is touch. So you can put your hand on your heart. You can just get yourself back in your body, because your mind is wonderful. Your mind can think about a lot of different things. It can problem solve. It can look at things from lots of different angles. However, your mind can also be hostile territory. And it can take you down storylines, because we as humans are geared towards story. It can take you down storylines that are far more upsetting than what the reality is. And I'm not saying that to dismiss the reality. I'm just saying when we can get back into the now, it is helpful. So that's one thing. If you're finding yourself in the future, get right back into the present moment. And that's a wonderful opportunity to do a little gratitude practice, so you can savor the moment that is. Second thing that I would suggest is that if you're feeling in that numb, stuck, kind of trapped, oh, I have emotions, but I don't want to feel them, that is the less you feel those emotions, the more anxiety can build. And this is by far the most uncomfortable thing. We don't want to feel those unpleasant emotions. We don't want to feel grief or sadness or fear. But the problem is we won't be able to feel joy until we feel grief, sorrow, fear. So there's no way out but through. And allowing yourself to have a good cry, which some people don't like crying. I know for me, I made up my mind when I was young, I wasn't going to cry. And I spent many years trying very hard not to cry. And I don't think it was helpful. In fact, I know it was not helpful. So there's two little catchphrases in coaching. You got to feel it to heal it, and you got to name it to tame it. And so what I mean by that is that we have to feel it to heal it. So if we're feeling grief, sadness, sorrow, we got to go there. Turn on a sad movie, listen to a sad song, do whatever you need to do to trigger the grief. And we got to name it to tame it, identify it as just that. It's grief, it's sorrow, it's sadness. And this is when we get to practice that first tool, which is not to go into the storyline of grief, sorrow, sadness, but rather to remain in the grief, sorrow, and sadness. And it will feel like it's not going to let up. And you're going to go, I don't have time to feel these feelings. I've got stuff to do. If you want to ease up, if you want to release some of the pressure on that pressure cooker, if you want to ease up your anxiety, I highly suggest you feel them. It will feel like it will never go away. And the longer you keep it under wraps, the more time it's going to be. Last week, I spent 2 solid days crying, 48 hours. I wasn't crying the whole time, right? But I was on the verge. I was ready to cry at the drop of a hat. It was there. It was just underneath. And I haven't felt that since. I mean, yes, periods of sadness, but not the pervasiveness. So I encourage you, feel it, name it, and be in the moment. Those are huge tips that can help you be able to manage your anxiety. And yes, there's so much more. There's so much more. Let me just see here. Oh, Megan, you worry about the future. So this is great. Yeah, coming back to the present moment is huge. Charlene, I wrote a workshop, Avoiding Overwhelm and Creating Balance, because you were feeling stuck and out of control. Our mess becomes our message, right? Yes, absolutely, it does. I would not be able to talk about this if I had not struggled with anxiety of my own. Danielle, hey, how would you recommend calming anxiety or trying to protect someone who chooses to be stubborn and endanger themselves with this virus. Woo! Oh, yes. And feel it to heal it, name it to tame it. Okay, Danielle, absolutely. So in this time, we are going to have people we love and care about who are going to approach this whole situation differently than ourselves. And we are going to have a lot of emotions about that. So once again, we got to feel it to heal it. I would feel into those emotions, but we also have to recognize that we cannot control other people at all. You can try it, it'll backfire. You can try it, it'll frustrate you even more. You can say your piece. And this is, in all honesty, this is where I turn to spirituality. I'm like, God, universe, goddess, spirit, take my fear and worry, and I give it up to you. Because you can't do anything about it. You can feel your fear, you can and try to make peace with it. It's like, how do we love people even when they're making decisions that you wouldn't make? And I would search for that love and search for the gratitude of the present moment. That is, and some people are going to make their own choices. And that's sad and hard and painful to witness. But Danielle, you and I both know, Danielle's my cousin. We have witnessed people who we love make decisions we would not want them to make, right? And we just sometimes have to release that to the universe, because there's not much that can be done. So I will leave you with that. The one thing that I do want to say to all of you is that I am going to be starting something new, which is if you like these videos, if you watch these videos often, this is my announcement to you. If you like these videos, you watch them frequently, and you kind of want a little bit more, like I already have, I have my little notes. I have like 3 other tips that I want to share with you. So what I'm going to be doing is recording after these videos. I'm going to pause the Facebook Live. I'm going to record a little bit more tools, and I'm going to put them on my member vault. If you are, and I'll be doing this every week, I hope to be adding PDFs, like little worksheets to help and support you. I hope to bring on guests and be able to interview them about topics that we talk about on Living and Learning. I want to be able to offer more than what I offer here. And I'm also want that to be an exchange. And so it will be a $5 a month commitment, which I hope is not that much for you. And I hope to be able to give you a lot of goodies based on these videos, give you a little bit extra, and be able to also support myself and my family in the process. So $5 a month, that's about 1 cup of coffee a month, or a cup and a half, depending on how it all goes. I don't have the system up yet, but once I do, I will be putting a link in the comments, and I'll be sharing about it on my Facebook page. So if you love these videos, you want a little bit more, I encourage you to sign up for that. It's a gift for me to give you more tools, and I hope it's a gift for you to continue to support me in this work. Oh, Danielle, I love you and appreciate you too. And you're tired of being by yourself. Yes, good. Thank you, Deborah. I'm glad you are enjoying these. Thank you so much. I wish you a full week of living, learning, naming it, taming it, feeling it, healing it, and being in the present moment. And I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.